All right, I think we are live. Emery, great to see you, and thank you so much for joining us. Just real quick, for those that I don't know, my name is Zach Posner. I am a co-founder and the managing partner at the LegalTech Fund, and thrilled to have Emery here with us today, one of our portfolio companies.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Zach.
And you're calling from lovely Las Vegas, you just mentioned?
Las Vegas, yep. Here at the Money 2020 conference, and yeah, you can see my beautiful painting I've got here. I made the bed, you know.
that is good stuff. You're living the dream.
Yeah.
So we want to go back and forth a couple questions. Let the viewers get to know you a little bit. If we kick this off, like, what's something that I don't know about you, and I've gotten to know you a little bit, but or folks wouldn't know about you?
Yeah. So you know this, but so I was a Marine infantry officer, and when I got out, I wrote a novel that kind of blended my time in the Marine Corps mixed with other people that I interacted with, and really enjoyed that experience. So I've kind of continued writing in the background, and now I'm working on a musical about kind of leadership and self-discovery, also, in the military. So it's been a long project, and the startup kind of gets in the way of that sometimes, but it's we should see it here in the next couple of years.
I did not know that you had written a book. I did not know you're doing musical. This is pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, startups, what, 5 or 10 hours a week, and then you have the rest.
Yeah, it's a nice part-time job.
I don't know if I asked this to everybody. I don't know if you would consider yourself in legal tech, if that's the first place you'd go, or you just said you're money. If you think you're more money 2020, if you're more a fintech, but like, if you weren't in legal tech or you weren't serving this vertical, what do you think you'd be doing?
Yeah, I think I would probably be in financial technology in a different vertical, but I have really fallen in love with kind of the intersection of financial and legal technology, because I mean they're so intertwined, and there's areas where it's really unclear kind of where the business of law stops and the financial kind of piece begins. And so there's just so many intricacies, rules. It's a fun place to be.
And look, that's our perspective as well. Like, we don't know where that bifurcation comes of legal and the rest of your life. If you think of, like, we like to say, from birth certificate to will, everything you do is governed by a legal document in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that being said, maybe give us a little bit of origins of Confido, how you got here, what inspired you, and to kind of launch this thing up.
Yeah. So unlike a lot of legal tech founders, I'm not a lawyer. I actually came at this more from the client perspective. So I had the somewhat unfortunate opportunity, I'll call it, to be closely involved in some litigation. The company I worked for, the two founders had a dispute over ownership of the company, and it went full on to trial, appeals. It was a 3-year kind of bet the company thing. And I got to experience, what it's like to be a kind of, I was sort of interacting with all the law firms that the company was using during this process, and reviewed and paid millions of dollars in legal bills, and was in the payments industry. So I was seeing for my day job what best in class kind of e-commerce techniques, kind of maximizing or minimizing churn at the checkout, and all these things that we were doing, for my day job. And then, over here, I'm kind of reviewing and paying all these legal bills, and just the act of, once you're ready to pay, getting the money to the firm was, it warranted putting it on the bottom of the pile and just, not dealing with it, because it was actually kind of difficult. And so I thought, maybe there's something here. And so dug in and spent a year kind of learning about the rules of professional conduct and what an IOLTA account is, and all of the challenges that law firms face when trying to use kind of best in class tools out there. And so really felt like, as more and more, not just payments, but financial services become embedded into, other systems that businesses are using to run their day to day, that legal could really benefit from a tool to do that in a way that made it really easy to comply with the unique needs and also the unique rules that govern how money is handled in law.
And for those not as familiar, can you maybe just give a simple example or two that talk about some of those challenges that are specific to legal that may not exist
Yeah.
elsewhere?
Yeah, we kind of think of it like there's two buckets. One is just the fact that, a law firm typically has, multiple bank accounts. A multi-state law firm may have, we have firms with 20 different IOLTA accounts connected to our system. So it's, if you're going to go out and kind of buy some of these sort of payment systems or financial services off the shelf, you'd have to buy, in that case, kind of 20 different systems to manage all that. And so we do kind of all the aggregation to make it really easy to manage all the different deposit and now funding bank accounts right in one place. And then the second thing is kind of a bucket, which is just making sure that it complies with all the unique rules that govern, how money is handled and when it's stored, when it's accepted, when it's sent out. There's so many unique rules, and so we just make sure that we're making it really easy for our firms to comply with those rules.
You talk about law firms. I know you sell to a couple different types of segments. Like what are those buckets that you think about?
Yeah. So actually, like I mentioned, we really see a future where payments and financial services and a lot of things that you maybe now or used to get at your bank are now kind of fully embedded into the main system you use to run your business. In law, typically like a case management, practice management, or a time and billing system. So more and more, we're really building tools and devoting our product roadmap to developer tools to make it really easy to embed these services into case management. In terms of the end law firm user, though, because we do still think of law firms as sort of the end
Right.
customer. We've seen great adoption in a lot of the consumer, practice areas. What's really exciting is more and more kind of B2B firms are migrating away from, the legacy, the paper check, over to using more kind of electronic systems. We have a same-day bank transfer system that's high limit, kind of built for B2B firms. So it's really exciting to see that kind of B2B adoption because, that's kind of where, my passion started, is improving that client experience. So
when you walk around the show like you're at right now, that's, what do people say when you say you're working on legal?
They walk away quickly. I have to chase them back down.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there are a ton of lawyers here because, there's so many regulations and the intersection of law and our business, is also, that overlaps pretty significantly there too. So there's no one here is kind of thinking you can play too fast and loose with the regulations and rules. So
yeah. Where do you when did you start the company, and how would you classify where you're at now, and
yeah.
What's next?
So we originally launched it as a side project of a previous company, right into the teeth of the pandemic, which net maybe was a good thing, but it really started to take off, and we started to do it full time, and then about a year and a half ago, spun it out as a separate company, and I'd call it like a little bit past sort of seed stage right now. Seeing some good growth, some good traction, and so feeling good about kind of the product market fit and direction, and so it's really it's about execution at this point. So.
And maybe when we have you back on in 10 years after you're headlining the conference you're at now, what does this look like? Like, what is this, you know, where is this spread to, you know, obviously payments, but where does that, how does that
Yeah.
move into the world of financial services?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the exciting things that we just launched, we hadn't done anything in the past with contingency, firms. It just wasn't really relevant to our product, but we saw that, there's these big personal injury firms, have an army of check writers for all these settlement payments. And so we launched a product specifically to kind of digitize that product, which is super exciting. And we're really just kind of on a mission to find those areas of law that are still being done in a very kind of paper heavy way, and really kind of ticking those off and making it really easy, like I said, for other case management, practice management systems to embed those services into into their systems. And we get asked a lot, like, what's next after law? But there's so much runway in legal. I do think about other industries that are sort of highly regulated, like legal, but we're having fun in legal. We've got plenty of runway, and so for now, it's all legal.
But this construct of like a robust API that you guys provide, like it doesn't really exist right now, correct?
No, not for legal. And I think as you look at companies like Shopify, which have done a great job delivering these like really tightly embedded services and right in the main system that these e-commerce businesses are using to run their businesses. And so we kind of think about, how do we power the shopification of legal, and really look to that as kind of an example of where we're going and what we want to build.
Awesome. There are folks, if there are folks watching and they want to, or maybe the question should just be simply, if you have an ask for people that are watching now or watching in the future, what would that ask be?
Oh, yeah. Well, for one, we have a podcast, Financially Legal, which deals with all things at the intersection of finance and the business of law. So very niche. And so if you're interested in kind of learning or engaging more, that's a great way to kind of stay up to speed on kind of what we're doing. If you're a law firm and there's still areas like you're not happy with kind of the systems that you have currently to move money, to move money within your firm and then to disperse it. Obviously, we'd love to chat there. And kind of most importantly, if you're a legal tech company who is kind of considering building some more of these sort of advanced kind of financial services and other things into your applications, we'd love to learn about your plans and see if there's opportunity for us to help kind of shorten that roadmap. So
awesome. And for those folks that want to take you up on it, how do they reach out to you?
So yeah, email's good. So EWAGER at confidolegal.com is a great way to get a hold of me. Also on LinkedIn, I do check LinkedIn, a fair bit, probably more than I should, but
I feel like we're all checking in LinkedIn. In fact, we're doing this podcast.
Yes, we're on
LinkedIn. It's like LinkedIn's an example of a rare platform that like has had just this, like, it just continues to like add value, in my opinion, and get better and better and better. Mm-hmm. And I get frustrated because I was a shareholder before Microsoft acquired it. And I wish it would have stayed independent, but
they've done a good job. They have definitely done a good job. So yeah. In the world of social media, where things get pretty low out there, they've managed to to some degree stay above the pettiness, although just a little bit more than the others.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, look, I thank you for spending a few minutes with us and telling your story, and really thrilled and honored to have you kind of as part of the portfolio. We could not be more excited by the work you're working on, and and I guess enjoy Vegas.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate the support from you and the team. It's been awesome to work with everybody, and really appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Thank you and talk soon.
All right. We'll see y'all.